So my mum was born in Devon, so she was born at the beginning of the Second World War, and so I think she had quite a tough upbringing. I think that was when she went to university, so she's probably around 17 there, I think. She was very clever and she wanted to be a doctor, and so at 17 she got a scholarship to Cambridge and studied medicine. She was totally committed to the NHS, and as I got older and became more aware of politics and the National Health Service, I realised just, it's quite a tough place to work, and she refused to do any kind of private practice. She wasn't just a doctor, she was a brilliant mum, loved her grandchildren, and yeah, just a lovely woman. So my mum died very suddenly in July 2022. My dad had gone out and got a phone call from her saying, "I feel really bad," and he rushed home and found her. She was vomiting and complained of this terrible, terrible headache. It turned out she'd had a brain aneurysm, and they called an ambulance, but by the time the ambulance came, my mum had lost consciousness, and she died of what they said was an unsurvivable bleed, and it was just a very, very sudden death. We didn't know that my mum had opted into the organ donor register. One of the nurses had said, "We would like to come and talk to you about organ donation," and then returned shortly afterwards to say, actually, my mum was on the registry. I think we all felt, of course she was, and it was exactly the sort of thing that she would A, know about, and B, very much want to do. We knew that the process for organ donation would have meant that that night they would see if the organs were good enough to transplant. So we got a phone call the following morning. They operated overnight and told us that they had successfully taken her liver and her kidneys. And at that stage we didn't know anything else. But then a couple of weeks later we got a call saying that her liver had gone to a young man in his 30s, and her kidneys, one each, had gone to two separate women in their 70s who'd been waiting for a very long time on the transplant list. The incredible thing we found out later was that she was the oldest donor. She was 84 when she died, and the cut-off point for organ donation is 85. I think she herself would have been very sort of secretly quite pleased that, even in death, she was able to help people. If anyone's interested and watching this, if they could make an active choice to be an organ donor, it's a very simple thing to do, but could really be immeasurably helpful to families who need organ donation.